For a second day, Syrian regime forces are continuing their large-scale offensive on Turkmen areas in northern Latakia. With heavy support from the Russian Air Force, they've taken control of several villages and a strategic hill in the north. Activists say the situation is critical. Last week, 19 countries, including allies of the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, signed a UN statement that called for a ceasefire by May 2016 and free elections a year later. Well, let's cross to Zeina Awad, who is in Gaziantep in Turkey's southeast. Zeina, we understand that the Syrian army has made inroads. What more do we know?
Indeed, we understand that the battle has been raging for 2 days and the Syrian army has captured 6 villages and a strategic hill in northern Latakia. Now, it's important to think of the geography here. Latakia is an Assad stronghold, and just to the east of it are the Turkmen mountains, and they are rebel-held territory. And this seems to be the focus of this particular onslaught on Turkmen rebel groups. What we also understand, and this has been confirmed by Syria's state agency, news agency, is that Russia is giving air cover for the Syrian military as they are advancing. And this is not just limited to the Turkmen mountainous region. Also, we're hearing from activists on the ground. We haven't confirmed it yet, but we are hearing that a similar strategy is happening in the provinces of Idlib and Aleppo, whereby the Syrian military is advancing against rebel groups and is receiving full air cover from Russia.
Zeina, the war is intensifying on many fronts. How are civilians coping?
It is indeed, and in fact, this morning we were speaking to 6 people who have just arrived from Raqqa, Syrians who were smuggled across the border. They were terrified, and they were telling us that up until when they were there, a number of civilian buildings were hit, including 2 hospitals. One of them was actually a birthing hospital. So these are anecdotal stories, but it does seem that a number of civilian buildings are being hit in Syria. And earlier this week, Physicians for Human Rights, which is a group of American doctors and medical aid workers who focus on human rights violations in the world, they released a report in which they have said that Russian airstrikes have targeted at least 10 different medical facilities in Syria since they intensified in September, and hundreds of others have been targeted by the Syrian regime. So while the picture is patchy at this point, while we have a limited amount of information coming out, especially from Raqqa, where Daesh has imposed a complete internet embargo in the last few days, it is becoming clear that there are civilian targets that are being hit by airstrikes, by the Syrian military, and that includes medical facilities.
Okay, Zeina Awad in Gaziantep, thank you.